Hey, what's up? They're Biden and Obama getting nailed. Oh, these videos God bless these videos. These are, I mean, this should happen to them every time they speak. Here, let's just show a little teaser here for a minute.
Biden! Pope Francis has opened up the Vatican for peace talks. Will you negotiate, sir?
Hey,
nuclear war must never be fought and cannot be won. Will you negotiate? Sir, will you negotiate? Russia and China have a no first strike policy. What about America?
That's more like my generation.
I thought the Democrats were anti-war and anti-colonialism.
All right.
Friends,
Okay, hold on. I'll play the rest in a minute, but this is exactly what should be happening to all these fucking liars, these sociopaths. I mean, they speak to crowds of people and no one ever calls them out for their shit. And it's great to see some folks doing this. On this show, I'm going to show videos, more of the video of Biden getting heckled. There's video of Obama. There's video of Kamala Harris. I'm going to show all of these because, honestly, these people, they live in a fucking bubble where they can commit war crimes and never be called to account, never actually have someone in their face saying, why don't you want peace? Why don't you want this fucking over? Now, of course, we know the answers. I can go into them again here if you'd like to really dig into why Obama and our ruling class don't actually want peace. Because, you know, we're in a late stage empire where we need to force a proxy war in order to harm Russia and blah, blah, blah. I've gone through it many a time, so I don't need to go through every step right now. But that's why they don't want peace. But it's like, this should be happening to them everywhere they go, is people saying, why the fuck are you putting us on the cusp of nuclear war? And these folks, you see them here, and this is Biden. I'm going to show you Obama and Kamala Harris. Now, the Obama one was a separate issue, but the idea was the same. And this should be happening. This should be happening to them all the time. Here, let's play the rest of the Biden one. And none of them have answers, by the way. Some of their responses are fucking hilarious if they choose to respond at all. Normally, they just try and get out of it. The person is generally dragged out of the crowd, kicking and screaming. It's not like there's any freedom to talk during these things. But all right, so let's continue the rest of this video.
I'm with you. Hey, anyway, look.
The war between Ukraine and Russia must be brought to
the next couple of years is going to have more to do with what this country looks like 20 years from now.
It puts us in danger.
Well, let Joe talk, okay? What are we talking about?
We need peace, not war.
Look.
So one thing these people are doing that's very effective is there's more than one of them showing up. So as one is dragged out of these events, there's another person ready to go that just picks up where the last one left off. And that's how you have to do it, because you only, at these things, if you are going to stand up and speak out, you only have 30 seconds if you're lucky before they drag you out. I spoke out on Fox News the time they had me on, and they cut the segment off. And so I had roughly 30 seconds to actually speak out, but they have an advantage that I couldn't have had, which is they can have multiple in the crowd at different areas that are able to just pick up exactly where they left off. And you heard, Joe Biden's response. I mean, he's lucky to put two words together successfully. But you heard his response. He said something like, that reminds me of my generation. Now, that response, when you really parse it, when you really think about what he just said, is fucking incredible. Okay, he's connecting himself to protesters on the street, to protesters standing up against the ruling class in the 1960s is what he meant by that reminds me of my generation. Joe Biden has been in the ruling class most of his life, all right? Ever since he got elected, he's been in the ruling class, and he was never part of that generation. He claimed that he was part of the anti-apartheid marches and got arrested with Nelson Mandela or something like that. Nelson Mandela or some shit like that. No, he wasn't. It turned out it was a complete lie. But Joe Biden doesn't actually know where he was or what he did. So I guess you can give him that credit. And so he says, that reminds me of my generation. But whether he was part of it or not, which he wasn't, but he's basically saying to this person who is about to get dragged out of his crowd, you remind me of the protesters on the street who I think we all agree we're doing the right thing, right? Are there that many of us right now who think that the protesters who were against the Vietnam War, who were for civil rights, who were against Richard Nixon, are there that many of us who were like, yeah, those protesters were wrong? Nowadays, back then, most people actually, percentage-wise in the country, did not support those protesters because they were called anti-American, they were called communist, they were called all that shit. But now we look back and we go, oh, those protesters had it right? I mean, you don't see many people, at least not in the Democrats. Maybe you hear some Republicans say it, but at least not the Democrats. They point to those protesters and they go, those protesters had it right. So Joe Biden is saying, you remind me of the protesters in the streets that were fucking right and were attacked and were beaten. At Kent State, they were murdered. And so he's saying, you remind me of those protesters who had it right against the ruling class, but now I'm the ruling class. You are going to be dragged out of here kicking and screaming because you dared question the, endless war of the U.S. empire. So Biden has no answers. And even his one little sheepish answer there, that sounds like my generation, is hilarious because he knows they're going to be dragged out. He knows these people aren't going to be allowed to sit there yelling things at him.
This election isn't a referendum, it's a choice. It's a choice between two fundamentally different visions of America. I've said from the beginning.
Same protest. Same event.
This election isn't a referendum, it's a choice.
Nuclear war cannot be won. It cannot be fought. You are playing with all of our lives. You are trying to get us into a confrontation with Russia. You are trying to get us into a nuclear war with Russia. You came into office for yours economic. Get out of here. You have squandered it on a proxy war with Russia. You're trying to kill us all.
I tell you, I love that.
Nuclear blackmail.
Mr. President, will you please reaffirm your statement that
Big Pharma. Big Pharma almost always stops us. But not this year. This year, Big Pharma lost and the American people won.
All right. So again, everything these protesters are saying, and I know, some of you in the comment that I see mentioning that these are LaRoche folks, LaRoche, and there's plenty of what LaRoche believes in that I disagree with. But in this fact, what they're talking about, I agree with fucking all of it. They are anti-war. They say we're on the cusp of nuclear war, which we are, according to the atomic scientists. What is it, 15 seconds to midnight right now? That sounds pretty goddamn close. So nuclear war cannot be won. It is a losing game, even if you didn't give a flying shit about the millions of people you would kill in a nuclear war. It still can't be won because nuclear winter kills all crops and life and everything. And so what they're saying is absolutely true. But of course, Biden doesn't want to address any of this really. A couple of times he said, I love that, which is, I love the thing I'm having dragged out of my fucking event, kicking and screaming. I love it. I love it so much. And then separate from what they're talking about, Biden tried to just keep saying the things. I'm sure this is what he's been told to do, because here's the thing is he can't actually think on his feet anymore. Every time he tries, it's a fucking catastrophe because this guy his brain is addled and old, to say the least. And, who knows what kind of prescription pills he's on. But anyway, he can't actually think on his toes and respond to these in a correct or in a manner that will not be horrific and his aides know that, and his cabinet knows that. Everybody knows that. So I think they've probably told him, listen, if someone starts yelling, just keep reading from the script. But the script had nothing to do with what they were saying at that moment. They were yelling about the proxy war in Ukraine, about us on the cusp of nuclear war, and he's talking about big pharma. And so he just keeps talking, and yet everyone in the crowd knows what's going on. They can't ignore it. And so, and one of the lines that he said, I didn't hear all of it, but one of the lines he said is this year, Big Pharma did not win. Not this year. The American people won this year. Fucking really? Big Pharma raked in billions upon billions of dollars at the expense of the American people. And this year, Big Pharma didn't win. The American people did. You're fucking out of your mind. So he's telling crazy lies while trying to ignore the fact that these people are calling him out for putting us on the cusp of goddamn nuclear war. So just horrific. And like I said, you know, I don't agree with everything LaRoche people believe, but on this fact, being anti-war, yes. So it's just amazing to watch this. I also want to show. I'll play there's a few seconds left. I'll play the end of it.
We put a cap of $2,000 a year on prescription drugs for seniors, no matter what their cost. 2, 10, 12, 15. Oops, stepping on them. That's black. Anyway.
This thing also ends with Joe Biden tripping on something on stage, which is just a great conclusion to him looking like a fucking idiot. I don't know if he said if he looked down and tripped, and I don't know if he said it's glass or it's black, but either one is weird. But anyway, all right. So, but we have more. They're not done. They're not done interrupting these politicians. And also, I want to remind you. So the other day, I played some. I think the most of these people interrupting things. Not one of them I'm going to play, but most of these people are tangentially connected. You know, they're in the same organization or something. But because they're anti-war, they go after Republicans and Democrats. So I played them interrupting Pompeo the other day, right? Former CIA, head of the CIA, far right winger, appointed by Trump. And they were going after him as well. So if this were only people interrupting Democrats, then I'd say, okay, they claim to be anti-war, but they're not really anti-war because they're clearly only going after Democrats, and they're not acknowledging that Republicans are equally bad on all of these fronts. And so it would not be genuine for them to only go after Democrats. But that's not what they've done. They've gone after, I've seen videos of them interrupting AOC, Pompeo, Biden, Obama, Kamala Harris. So yeah, it's that's what it is. The endless war machine. The U.S. military is the largest machine of organized mass human murder the world has ever known. And you may try to point at Nazi Germany, but the U.S. just in our war on terror, which doesn't account for all of our other hundreds of years of war, just in the war on terror, the U.S. has killed 6 million people. That's the pretty much accepted estimate, and that's not even the kind of like let's stretch the realm of possibility. 6 million is the accepted number of how many have died in the war on terror in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, just through all of those, Yemen, through all these past 20 years. And it is an insane number. So we have the largest machine of mass human murder going right now. Of course, the largest amount of money that's ever been spent on such an undertaking of mass human murder. Roughly $1 trillion a year when you throw in the black budget, the dark budget that they won't tell you about. There's $21 trillion of unaccounted for adjustments at our Pentagon, which no one will address. The Pentagon was finally audited. They've been audited 4 years in a row by thousands of auditors. And every time they say they failed their audit, that's it. That's the info they give us. They failed their audit. That's not a fucking audit. Hey, everybody. We looked deep into our books to see where the money's going, and we failed to look into those books. That's what happened here. Okay, so that was Biden. Now let's move on to Obama. Obama, it's not as fun because you can't hear everything, but he's being the guy screaming at Obama is screaming for a different reason. He says, well, anyway, in his here it is down here. His name is Drew Hernandez, and he called out Obama for supporting Katie Hobbs, is the Democrat running for the governorship in Arizona. And he says she has a history of discriminating against Black people at the Democratic rally in Phoenix, Arizona. And now I don't know his specific complaints. I also don't know anything about these candidates because they're all fucking goons. I mean, honestly, if they're a Democrat or Republican, they're not legitimate. So I don't look into them that much, but anyway, so he's screaming at Obama for supporting this shitty Democrat, and Obama's response is also pretty goddamn amazing and ridiculous. I'm starting a little farther into it because you can't hear anything at the beginning. It's just Obama stops talking. People start booing.
Hold on a second, everybody. Don't get distracted. Wait. Hold up. Hey, young man, just listen for a second. You know, you have to be polite and civil when people are talking. Then other people are talking, and then you get a chance to talk.
Okay. First of all, no, he fucking doesn't. Explain to me when this guy is going to, please, Obama, tell me when this guy's going to get a chance to talk. Never going to get a chance to talk. And furthermore, like, you have to be civil. Honestly, screaming a question at Obama, which, by the way, in the things he's screaming, he's not cursing at him. He's not saying you fucking war criminal, which might be what I would be saying. But so the fact that he is being civil is not throwing a shoe at his head like the amazing guy who threw shoes at George W. Bush. But he's acting like, oh, this is so uncivil. You know what's fucking uncivil? Dropping tens of thousands of drone bombs on innocent human beings. That's not really civil, is it? See, that's the thing is these people, and not Democrats, fucking all of them. These war criminals, this machine, the American empire machine, the U.S. empire's machine, all of these fuck faces at the top. And I use that as a technical terminology. Scientists use it to mean these people. They love to say, be civil. Talk to me. You know, don't scream. Don't interrupt. Don't protest. Be civil. But they do not want to talk about what it is that is done in their name. I mean, not just in their name, but they are actively have to approve it to some degree. Yes, Mark, actually, thank you, Mark. Mark actually knew the exact number. I knew it was over 26,000, but 26,000 drone bombs dropped in Obama's final year. Now, that is dropped by our Pentagon, but it's dropped by our Pentagon under Obama. And of course, Obama could stop that, but he doesn't when he was president. Under Trump, first year, 40,000 bombs dropped under Trump. And the numbers are mind-blowing. And then Trump, I believe, stopped the Pentagon from reporting those numbers so that we could no longer know how many munitions are dropped each year. And I don't know whether Biden has open those up again. I'm assuming not, because anytime, you know, the Democrats love to be more into openness and transparency and all this shit. But if a Republican does something, they never undo it. Like there's almost nothing that Biden has really undone that Trump has done. You know, look at the Iran nuclear deal. The Iran nuclear deal, Trump fucking tears it up, and as Biden redone, fucking no. Like, but anyway, they don't give away power. At no point do U.S. presidents generally give away any of their power. So here they are saying, be civil. And I realize this is just Obama, but they say this shit all the time. Be civil. Don't interrupt this rally. And it's like, dude, you are the farthest thing from civil that this world has ever known. You drop tens of thousands of bombs on innocent human beings, and you say, be civil. You increase the prison population. It's so that it is the largest prison state. The U.S. is the largest prison state in the world. And you say, be civil. Taking away people's freedom, locking them in a cell, and you say, be civil. You allow for hundreds of thousands of people to be homeless in the so-called richest country in the world, and you say, be civil. In a country where we could easily house everybody. We have less than 1 million homeless people, if you believe their numbers. It could be much higher than that, but let's say 1 million homeless people in America. And we have 17 million empty living spaces in America. You could write a little note right now saying, give every empty living space to a homeless person. And not only that, you'd still have 16 million left over. You could do that day one. Obama, Trump, Biden, any of them could have done that. Fucking no. And yet you say, be civil. These people, they put a veil on it. They put a covering of, let's be civil, let's be polite, let's be nice to one another, while they create the largest violence this world has ever known. The least civil society that could exist in many ways. And they say, be civil. It's just unbelievable. And of course, that's just a few examples. I'm not even talking about healthcare. The fact that we allow people to die in this country because they didn't have enough money for a healthcare exam or for medicine. And he says, be civil. Be civil. Civil is giving everybody free healthcare. That sounds super civil to me.
Set up your own rally.
Set up your own rally.
A lot of people work.
Set up your own rally is so amazing because it's coming from the ruling class that has a million different ways to entrench their power, to make sure that guy in the audience, doesn't matter who it is, could be, you know, it was this guy, but it could be anybody out there, to make sure that those people don't have the power, aren't in these top offices, and therefore don't have these rallies like this. So everything they can do to make sure this power is entrenched and that guy in the audience doesn't get up to that spot on the stage. And yet Obama's like, you have your own rally. You go out there and have your own rally. Yeah, you do that. Besides the fact that even if the guy did have his own rally, let's say he had the same number of people at his rally. So let's say, 1,000 people there. Let's say that guy has his own rally and he has 1,000 people. Maybe he's a well-known rapper like Kanye West or something. And he has a rally. That's not calling that's not speaking truth to power. Like what he's doing right there in that audience is speaking truth to power. Him having his own rally where he yells about something, or me having my YouTube show here, it's not speaking truth to power in their face. It's not like, yeah, you can go out on a street corner and say things. But what that guy's doing is in Obama's face, which is what Obama doesn't like, which is what Obama calls uncivil.
Worked hard for this. Come on, man. Come on. Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't call me to account. All right, so let's go into the next one. And by the way, thanks everybody for being here. I do these live streams Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to get to the next one here. Kamala Harris being shouted down. I'll get to that in 1 second. But I hope you'll join these more regularly. I hope you'll leave a comment and let me know in the comment thread, whichever platform you're watching on. Do you feel this is the right way to ask questions of our ruling elite? Do you feel these people are in there behaving in a civil way by yelling things at rallies? Should that be allowed? Is that okay? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this. And the other thing is that this has more of an impact usually than a march or a protest that has 300 people at it, 500, which is a good attendance. That's a goddamn good attendance. I've been to a million fucking protests and rallies. Most of them do not have 500 people. Yet this interrupting the ruling elite, and especially if a video goes viral, has more impact in people seeing it, people thinking about it, people talking about it, discussing what's happening, what these points are. Are these people correct? Has more impact than 500 people to protest where the government says, yeah, you can have a permit to that protest. Just have it over there at the edge of that field and just keep it between the hours of noon and 2, and the cops will show you out when you're done. And so it's amazing that the amount of effort that goes into organizing something with 500 people and all the fucking sound system and all that shit. And I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying that on the scale of things that have an impact, this interrupting these people while they speak has more of an impact than a protest or something. And so, and then, of course, there's stuff that has even more impact than these people interrupting, which is stuff that interrupts business as usual, stuff that slows down oil pipelines. You know, a lot of oil pipeline protesters will, they'll chain themselves to a pipeline or something like that. The pipeline construction has to halt for the day. They arrest the people, all this shit. Then there's usually lawsuits. Now the company then has to fight the lawsuits. And in those lawsuits, they end up spending money, and this elongates the process. And a lot of times these pipelines have ultimately not gone through because the company decides, it's not worth it. They just keep fucking interrupting, and we got to keep going to court and all this shit. And so that has a huge impact of, and because it interrupts business as usual. Generally things that interrupt business as usual have a large scale impact, far more than just having a rally or something. All right. So moving up to Kamala Harris, and sorry, I got in the middle of this and then I interrupted myself. I hate being interrupted on these things. When I'm doing a live stream alone, I'm so tired of being interrupted because it's just fucking I keep telling myself, be civil, let me talk, and then you can talk. I do these 3 times a week. They are free to watch at rumble.com/Lee Camp. In a minute, this will only continue at rumble.com/Lee Camp. The other platforms will stop. So please join me for free at rumble.com/Lee Camp. Please hit subscribe. Please hit thumbs up, all that stuff. I also do something called the Most Censored News with Mint Press. Actually, this next video I'm going to show you is via Mint Press. If you don't know Mint Press, I hope you will check it out. mintpressnews.com. Great news organization. And yeah, so let's get on to Kamala Harris being interrupted here. And by the way, you don't see much of this shit on the mainstream media, do you? And again, this is being posted by Mint Press.
Hey, Kamala! Tell us about your plans to invade Haiti! Tell us about the U.S.'s plans to invade Haiti! They're looking to invade Haiti to raise...
Let me give you a little background, and then I will continue the video. But what's going on in Haiti right now is Haiti, yes, Haiti is a very tough country. It's one of the poorest countries in the world. A lot of horrible shit going on there. However, there is a U.S.-backed president, Henry, in Haiti, who possibly, many say, was involved in the assassination of the last president of Haiti. U.S.-backed. There are many people's protests, and this doesn't mean it's all great. There are also some rough gangs in Haiti because there is a lot of lawlessness, but much of the destruction of Haiti, the making sure that Haiti never gets a toehold and never actually becomes a strong and successful nation has been done by the United States over years, over decades. We have gutted, and this includes the Clintons and all the way up the line, gutted Haiti, abused Haiti, caused Haiti to be poor and destroyed, but also via the IMF and the World Bank and everything. And so now the U.S. yet again is saying, "Oh, we gotta go interrupt in Haiti. We need to go down in Haiti, and we're gonna help keep the peace." Oh, are you? Oh, yeah. You know, all those times the U.S. has helped keep the peace in other countries and has only done it because of love for people and just really, you know, we just want to see Haiti thrive. That's what we want. And so that's why we're going to send people down there, send U.S. military and shit down there to really just help those lovely people in Haiti. No, of course not. It's designed to help the U.S. empire. That's the only reason. So that's what this girl is asking about, is tell us about your plans to invade Haiti.
Thousands of people, again, just like they have in the other U.S. invasions and other UN invasions. Tell us about why so many migrants are in the U.S. It's because of all of the U.S. budget stretches and the debt that the country is in.
Now, even though she's being interrupted and shouted at, she's making some great points, which, you know, a lot of people hate that there's migrants coming to the U.S. They hate that there's immigration, but the vast majority of the people coming to the U.S. are coming from countries that the U.S. has helped destroy. They're coming from a lot of times from Venezuela and Guatemala and Colombia and Honduras and Haiti. One of the biggest ones where migrants have been coming from recently is Haiti, and it's thanks to our destruction of Haiti. So we go, oh, how dare these people come here, turn them back, send them away. And it's like, well, stop destroying their country. And then maybe they wouldn't come to your country. Now, of course, countries are a ridiculous idea because borders are stupid. But, you know, this girl made some great points, even while only having less than 30 seconds, fucking, you know, to yell her points before all these goons and sheep. And you honestly see how much these people really are sheep when they can't handle 20 seconds of someone interrupting the propaganda, the message, the bullshit. It's so horrifying to them. And so you have all these people surround them, start booing them, start clapping to shut them up. And
you're trying to find the root cause of immigration, but you've done nothing for that. The U.S. has plundered and destroyed countries all over the world, and your administration is complicit in that. You're trying to do that in Haiti. You're going to do it in all countries all over the world. Shame on you. Shame on you for doing that. Shame on you.
Stop dismantling public housing. Your constituents are living in squalor, being forced out of their neighborhoods to luxury condos. You say there's no money to keep public housing public, or you're spending billions of dollars spying on the population, spreading war around the world. It's disgusting. You're a liar. You lie for a living. You're not protecting you for the people. You're just a tool in the bank.
all the sheep cheering at the person getting taken out. It's like, even if I was at, let's say I was hearing someone speak that I really liked, and so I eventually, after someone was yelling for long enough, I eventually wanted, you know, I'm not saying there could never get to a point where you're like, can we hear 3 seconds of the guy on the stage? I understand that could happen. But to cheer someone getting dragged out of an event is like, it's like so pathetic. It's like, woo! Yay, they shut up that guy that was speaking facts. So that last person was talking about public housing and how they're gutting public housing. And of course, that is nothing new. That's what the Democrats do. It's also what the Republicans do. Both these parties are funded by the fucking landlords, right? The people that own large swaths of the American housing, of American land, investment firms that invest in that type of thing. Those are the people that fund these politicians and own these politicians. And these politicians would not be in that position of power if they hadn't proven through their career that they will stand with the investor class. So and to me, that's getting to another layer of reality, right? A lot of people will, let's say they even showed this Kamala Harris clip, which your mainstream media wouldn't, but let's say another channel did. They'll get to the point, oh, okay, he's saying that she's hurting public housing, and they may even explain to you how Kamala Harris is allowing the gutting of public housing, allowing it to be sold off to venture capitalists, etc. But what they probably won't get to, I'm not saying no one will, but what they probably won't get to is that there is a reason that people like Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Obama, you just go down the list, and those are the top. That's the executive office. But in just about every position in the House and Senate, the reason they support this investor class, the rich, is not just because they're funded by them. So, and honestly, this has been a bit of a shift of an understanding of mine, because when I first got into commentating on politics and stuff, and this is not incorrect, this is correct, I'm just saying it's not maybe deep enough. I would point to the money in politics and I would say, well, look, they're funded by fill in the blank. They're funded by big oil. They're funded by big ag. They're funded by, yes, that is true. And that is part of it. But the way it gets deeper than that is they might not care. Like, not every politician is funded by big landlords. Some are not. But the reason they almost all stand with the big landlords is because they largely would not be allowed to be in that position, allowed to have a Senate seat. There's some exceptions in the House because the House is small enough that it's not all bought off, but the most of it. I'm talking some tiny numbers. You can find 3 people that call big landlords to account. And someone mentioned Nancy Pelosi in the chat there. Nancy Pelosi is one of the biggest landlords in the country, and she's just massive real estate and land holdings. But anyway, and then of course there's fucking what's this? Oh God, I'm glad I'm forgetting these guys' names. What's Trump's dumbass son-in-law's name? Anyway, he's one of the biggest. He's the biggest slumlord. But the reason that they're not calling these people into account and they serve these people, part of it is also not just the funding. Yeah, Jared. Part of it is also the fact that they wouldn't get to that position. They wouldn't be allowed to get to that position if they hadn't shown throughout their career, whatever that career may have been short, maybe it was only a few years. But if they haven't showed through that career that they support and will not be a thorn in the side of the investor class, of the richest of the rich. Now, there are some exceptions, but those exceptions honestly always have to fight against primaries, heavily funded primaries, trying to stop them. And you see a lot of these get kicked out of Congress. So like Kucinich, Cynthia McKinney, Alan Grayson, even though he's kind of a weird exception because he's also very rich. But these people that have shown they will be an ongoing thorn in the side of the ruling class, of the investor class, they are purged from the system often before they even get to Congress. So that is a lot of what this is. Kamala Harris would not be vice president right now if she hadn't proven throughout her career that she was willing to stand with the ruling class against everything that the working class, the average people could ever want, could ever deserve. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. People standing up against the ruling elite. We'll go twatbags. Ruling elite twatbags on that one. Hope you enjoyed that. But let's see. We're going to go over to rumble.com/Lee Camp. I am going to now discuss how the civil war in Ethiopia is coming to an end, seems to be coming to an end. And it really is another U.S. proxy war. It's much smaller than Ukraine. There's not nuclear weapons on the cusp. It's not against Russia, but it really is another U.S. proxy war that's been going on. And it seems to be hopefully in its final days. And the U.S. side is losing, which is making the U.S. none too pleased. So now the U.S. is going to put more sanctions on Ethiopia and Eritrea. All right, but I'm going to get into the details of that right now. See, these are the proxy wars you don't hear. The U.S. has multiple proxy wars going at any given time. We like to keep it, a few irons on the fire, always going along. So this is another U.S. proxy war, and of course people die, right? Thousands have died in this, but the U.S. enjoys that kind of thing. No problem. Don't care if thousands die. Fine by our account. And how much have you heard you Democrats, Republicans, whatever, all of these lying shit-faced goons? How much have you heard them talk about how this is a proxy war? Zero, right? They just say, oh, we need to put sanctions on Ethiopia because they be bad, right? All right. Well, I'm going to get into the details of that right now. For any of you who are not at rumble.com/LeeCamp, this will all continue there for free. I will put the link in here for you because I know we're all lazy. We're all lazy. So there is the link. Come join me at rumble.com/LeeCamp. And let's do that right now. Oh, and for those of you who are not going to join me, you're like, I cannot be forced to click one more link. It will kill me. Or maybe you don't have any arms and hands. I mean, if you had hands without arms, that'd be pretty impressive. If you were just hands, that'd be pretty cool. But if you don't have any hands or arms and you can't peck with your nose, I mean, I don't know how you showed up here in the first place. But if you can't, then I hope you will still become a member at leecamp.net, which is my locals page. Locals is like Patreon, except it's better. It's like Patreon mixed with Facebook. You can post your own stuff, so you can be a part of the community. You can post, you can comment, all of those things. leecamp.net. And it's the only way I keep this going. I'm completely independent. And so I need to go to you guys. So please join me at leecamp.net. You can also sign up for free. You won't get everything. You won't be able to post your own stuff, things like that, but you will still be able to be a member there. So leecamp.net, $1.25 a week. Join me over there. But yes, we will continue on Rumble right now. Sorry. You can sing to yourself while I'm doing this. It'll be